Today I have another great story to share with you. In fact, it is a great story. We call this the great story of the coming of life. And it connects to some other work that we have been doing and that we will do. And so I want to share this story with you today. Not long ago, I told you the story of how Earth came to be. And today we're going to talk about how Earth has come to life with all kinds of plants and animals. Imagine back to a time when the Earth was just first born, and the Earth was just that drop of heat and light, full of commotion and confusion, and all that, and in all that, each particle was given a set of laws. The Earth cooled, and things settled down according to the laws that govern the things. And those solids, liquids, and gases became the water, rocks, and the air. The Earth was a beautiful little pearl lit up by her mother, the sun. The sun could not stop looking at it, and the sun admired the earth at night. One day, the sun saw something that wasn't quite in order. Something was beginning to happen to the beautiful earth. In fact, it rained a lot on this earth. And as water passed through the air, it mixed with some of the gas, the carbon dioxide gas, and a weak acid was formed. When this acid fell on the rocks with the rain, it began to dissolve them and breaking them up and allowing minerals to break down into bits and pieces and those salts from the minerals to escape. Now, something else was happening too. Storms were creating huge waves which pounded on the rocks, adding to the problem by breaking up the rocks even more. Water washed all of those mineral salts and that broken up rock down into the sea. So the problem was that the sea was becoming full of mineral salts, and the land was being washed away, and the order that had been created on Earth was starting to break down. Who was creating this? The sun said to water, "Water, what's going on? You are no longer clear. You're getting so full of salts and minerals." And water said, "Who, me? What have I done? All I'm doing is following my laws. When I become hot, I disappear, and when I get cold, I fall down. Because I'm a liquid, whenever I see a hollow, I have to enter. That's the way I'm made. I flow down and out and push down. Go talk to air. It's air who stirs me up, and then I have to move." So the sun went to air and pointed out that the water was filling up with salts and minerals. "Water says you've got something to do with this," sun concluded. Air said, "Me? I like that. I'm behaving just the way I'm supposed to. I was given the job of covering the earth with layers of blankets. I try to do my job, but the earth is so big and has such a cold head and cold feet that I have to move the blankets to cover one or the other. And when I'm busy covering the earth, what does water do? It jumps on my back to take a ride. When the land is flat, it's fine. I can carry water. But it's too hard to carry water when I'm climbing mountains. When I'm climbing mountains, I have to drop water. I'm just obeying my laws, you know. When I'm heated, I rise, and when I cool, I sink." "It's the fault of those rocks," Air continued. "They're so full of wrinkles and bubbles, they have no consideration at all. They do not move to let me pass. The rocks get so hot that it's uncomfortable for me, and I have to get away. And when the rocks get too cold, I cringe." "Go talk to the rocks," Air advised the sun. So the sun moved on to explain the problem to the rocks. Excuse me. The rock said, "Blame us, will you? We're not doing anything but sitting around. Do you think we want to get hot? You shine on us and we cannot help it. We are made this way. We have to push down and stay still. We're obeying our laws. If you ask us, sun, it's your fault. You're the culprit." And so it went on. You see, sun, water, air, and rocks were all part of the problem. Everything was acting just the way it should, and yet the order of Earth was being threatened. Something had to be done. Something else had to be created to help bring order back to Earth. And something else was created. A tiny droplet, so tiny it could not be seen. This tiny droplet was given the power to eat and grow and make more, just like themselves. Some of these built shells around their bodies for protection, And when they died, their shells dropped to the floor of the sea, and the salts were trapped within them. Time passed, and layer upon layer of these tiny shells built up and formed a special kind of mud. They were like the pages of a book. Some of these pages were left for us to read to tell us what was happening long, long ago. We know that life follows these laws and allows it to take whatever it needs from the environment to maintain balance on Earth. Living things also don't live forever, so that they multiply and make more like themselves to continue their work. Little is known about the beginnings of life on Earth. We can find out more about these by reading the stories that we can find in the rocks that cover our planet. Every day, new pages of this book of the history of life on Earth is being written and discovered. Perhaps one day you'll read the pages of life yourself. I can't wait to hear our discussion about the story of life and that very first form of life. And some of you know we talk about this and we call it that very first form of life the jelly blob. Now the jelly blob was that life that went through the water, cleaned up the salts and the minerals, and pulled them from the water into their bodies, and then put them on the floor of the sea when they died. And so this is really exciting to me because this starts all of our studies of plants and animals and life, and it's also the story of you and me. I can't wait to share more stories with you. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.